Story 1: The Curse of Blackwood Manor. It was a bitterly cold and moonless night when Dr. Amelia Blackwood arrived at Blackwood Manor. The sprawling, decrepit mansion had been in her family for generations, but she had never dared to set foot within its foreboding walls until now. Her uncle, the last surviving member of the Blackwood bloodline, had recently passed away under mysterious circumstances, leaving the estate to her. Amelia had always heard whispers about the manor's dark history. It was said to be cursed, plagued by generations of misfortune and shadowy tales of the supernatural. As she stood on the threshold of the ancient estate, she couldn't shake the feeling of unease that had settled deep in her bones. The air inside was frigid and stale, and a faint, unsettling whisper echoed through the grand hallway. Amelia hesitated, her breath visible in the chill, but she couldn't turn back now. She had come to unravel the secrets of Blackwood Manor, no matter how daunting the task. Exploring the manor, Amelia discovered room after room filled with antique furniture draped in dusty sheets. The walls were adorned with eerie, fading portraits of her ancestors, their eyes seeming to follow her every step. The whispering shadows grew more insistent, but she dismissed them as mere drafts of the ancient house. As days turned into weeks, Amelia delved deeper into her family's history, poring over journals and documents left behind by her uncle. There were cryptic mentions of a malevolent force that had plagued the Blackwood bloodline for centuries, a force that was rumored to manifest as shadowy figures and ghostly apparitions. Amelia couldn't deny the creeping dread that now consumed her every waking moment. One particularly stormy night, as the wind howled and rain lashed against the windows, Amelia heard her uncle's voice echoing through the corridors. She followed the spectral whispers, her heart pounding with trepidation. The voice led her to the long-forgotten library, a room she had avoided until then. Amelia entered the library, where ancient tomes lined the shelves, their leather-bound spines etched with strange symbols. The voice grew stronger, now a raspy chant, and Amelia's hands trembled as she opened one of the books. The pages were filled with incantations and dark rituals. It became clear that her family had been entangled with forces beyond human comprehension. As she delved deeper into the forbidden knowledge, Amelia's nightmares intensified. She would wake in the dead of night, drenched in sweat, to the sight of shadowy figures standing at the foot of her bed. Their malevolent eyes pierced her soul, leaving her in a state of perpetual fear and paranoia. Amelia's grip on reality slipped, and the line between the living and the dead blurred. She found herself talking to her uncle, whose spectral presence had become a constant companion. He implored her to complete a ritual, one that would supposedly break the curse that had plagued the Blackwood bloodline. Driven by desperation and a growing sense of madness, Amelia gathered the necessary items for the ritual, which involved the sacrifice of her own blood. As she stood in the dimly lit library, dagger in hand, the whispering shadows seemed to come alive, swirling around her. She knew she was teetering on the edge of an abyss, but there was no turning back. The ritual was performed, and as the incantations filled the air, the atmosphere grew suffocating. The shadows coalesced into grotesque forms, their twisted, haunting visages tormenting her. The pain from the self-inflicted wound was unbearable, but Amelia pressed on, fueled by desperation. As the final words of the incantation left her lips, the shadows vanished, and the library fell silent. The curse, it seemed, had been broken, but at a tremendous cost. Amelia's body was frail, her mind shattered, and she was forever haunted by the horrors she had unleashed in her quest to free her family from the malevolent forces that had plagued them for generations. And so, the whispering shadows of Blackwood Manor continued to linger, waiting for the next unfortunate soul to cross its threshold, never to escape the dark legacy of the Blackwood bloodline. Thanks for diving into the world of horror with us. If you're a fellow horror enthusiast, make sure to subscribe, like, and share your own terrifying tales in the comments below. More spine-tingling content awaits you. Stay scared and stay tuned for our next fright.